Don't watch me, watch Nolazine TV. It's the best video ever and subscribe to it.
Hey, it's Trina Lafargue and you're tuning in to Nolazine TV.
Okay, yeah, but the lovely Trina. So, let's start it off. Tell everybody, where are you from?
I'm from NOLA, from New Orleans, Louisiana. East Beast, if you know it.
East. Ooh.
If you're from New Orleans, you know what I'm talking
the
about.
Old East, huh?
So yeah, we be slumming it, but we coming up. Okay, don't hate on it too much. It up. We working on it.
Yeah,
I think. I hope.
Okay, so being one actress, so you told me actually before the interview that you've been acting for 12 years. That sounds like a roller coaster.
It has been. I mean, it's just weird because I look back and I'm like, wow, I really spent 10 years just building up to where I am now. And I feel like I'm still just getting started. So it's
and how old are you now? 18?
How kind. No, I'm 28 and I make 29 this year. So
Still got a baby face.
I'm still playing teenagers.
For real? I see that a lot in Hollywood.
Yeah, my last gig was actually for a 15-year-old on the Disney Channel.
And how old were you when you did that?
28. I've been a teenager for 12 years, yeah.
And so how was that experience?
It was cool. It was weird because all the kids are like around my height, but they know I'm an adult. So it's like they're trying to play with me like I'm one of the kids. And I'm like, you know I'm grown, right? I'm grown. But they were really sweet. Like the whole cast was really fun. We had a lot of fun.
That sounds interesting. Like the kid, you really like my height. You were one of us.
And I would love to say I had more fun because it was kids, but I think the kids are trying to, hold themselves professionally and get it done, even between the joking. But when I'm on set with adults, we're all tired and loopy and delirious to where it's even more fun being people my own age, And the kids just on so much candy and they so hype. They are so funny. They are so sarcastic kids these days now. I'm telling you. I was like, I'm trying to keep up. I felt like the oldie. So
playing with child actor at a certain age, how did you first get your first when did your first big break come?
What do you mean by big break? Because I feel like I'm still waiting on my big break.
If most actors start out behind the scenes or just if they don't have big roles yet. And so when was your first big role?
I think I would define my first big role as the 5 Feet Apart role. I played Maya in a feature film. And it went to theaters, and then there was a big red carpet event I was invited to, so of course I'm like, red carpet. But that was the first role I had on a feature film where they showed my character throughout the film, and not just for one scene here or one line there. So even when I didn't have lines in the film, you see my face, I was, an important part of the cast. So I felt like somebody, and then I made it to the red carpet, and I definitely felt like somebody after that. So I think that would be my big break. I got to see Hollywood in that light, walk the red carpet like, a lot of well-known actors, and then be seen throughout the film. So big win.
So tell us, what was your most embracing moment on set?
The moment I embraced the most, or you mean embarrassing moment?
I'm gonna say embarrassing. Come on, let's talk about that. It was the most embarrassing
that's a hard
moment.
One. I've been asked that before. That's a tough one. But I think the most embarrassing time on set, I booked my first big commercial. It was for Toyota. And in the audition room, they were like, yeah, you're in the car, you're rocking out to music, and then a cop walks up to your window and you immediately jump out of it. So in the audition, I'm rocking out. I mean, I went all in. I'm shaking my head, whipping my hair, and I was wearing extensions. So they love the hair for some reason. So when I got to the actual booking where we're gonna film on set, they see me and they're like, oh, you cut your hair. I'm like, no. They were like, I was like, why? They were like, we're using your hair in the scene. We're gonna fluff it up like it got really messed up in the car, but you cut it. I was like, I didn't cut it. It's right here. So I'm holding up this bag with extensions. Like, it's right here. You just got to clip them in. And they didn't know what to do. They were so lost. They were like, yeah, we're going to talk to the director. And they ran out. So I'm sitting in the trailer like, just clip it in. It's simple. But they came back and it was a big deal. So it was so embarrassing because now we have the director, the AD. We have everyone there figuring out how to make my hair look like it did in the audition without just clipping in the clippers. So that was embarrassing because I'm like, maybe I should have just came with it in, or I don't know. But I think it kind of booked me the role having that hair. So I don't regret it. They worked with it. They did what they had to do with my natural hair and it came out great. So I think that would be the most embarrassing.
Okay. Yeah. I just laughed at it. I said, yeah, but I read it wrong. I said embracing. I should have said embarrassing.
Embarrassing or embracing? What's funny is I'm like, it's right here. They're like, what do you mean? So that was funny. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeesh.
And so let's talk about Hollywood South. Like, you know, I mean, what you think about it? Like, do you think that, you know, up there, I mean, do you think they're gonna have more like movies coming back to like, you know, Louisiana and just like Mississippi through this area?
I have heard through the grapevine that there are like over 30 films planning to come here to film. I don't know if it's the tax brackets or what it is, but Nola's about to pop off. And the fact that I filmed the Disney episodic here in New Orleans, New Orleans East, by the way, says a lot. It says a lot. Because now these studios are getting up and running. People are utilizing the swamp areas and the marshlands for their films. I think it's going to be great. I think it's bringing a whole lot more jobs for people here.
It was definitely needed.
Yeah, on the crew, the extras, the actors. We're not just getting those one-worders, one-liners anymore, you know. They're like, oh, okay, I feel like they're starting to notice the talent that New Orleans cultivates. You can't find this talent anywhere else in the world, if you ask me.
Because everyone's from New Orleans is very original.
We can't help it, man. We can't help ourselves. We was born this way, I guess. So
like being a kid, did you ever think that you were actually going to be one, actor?
No. My thing was always performing. Whether I'm lip singing a song or doing a dance for a talent show. I danced in church, like I did liturgical prayer dancing. I did ballet, tap, and jazz. I was always involved in something. So I knew I wanted to perform, but I didn't realize it would be film acting. So when I got into theater, I'm like, I'm gonna be Broadway star. And then I fell in love with film and the camera. So I studied that at the University of New Orleans and just kept with it. But I never thought I'd be a TV actress. Like it was always cool, like I wanna be on Disney one day, sure, but was I like, I wanna be an actress or I wanna figure out how? No, it just kinda, I feel like it was meant to happen for me and I just fell into it naturally.
Okay. Like far as acting goes, who did you admire or study from, you know, and like learned?
Growing up, I didn't really have that one person I looked up to. It was just kind of like, and even now, I have stars that I latch on to, and I'm like, I really like this, or, you know, I like what this person is doing with this. I like the way they approach this role. So it's not really a big name that I've always looked up to.
But you learn from multiple people.
Right, and even now it's like I'll put on a Netflix series, not know the name of some of the actors, but fall in love. Like I need to know this person. And then I go into my research. So how did they get started? Where did they go to school? What was their first break? What did they start on that I can see when maybe they had one-liners? And just seeing their growth. And, you know, of course they have people I want to work with in the future, but no real idols. I just learn from everybody I meet. I'm sure I learned something from you today, so.
You learned a new name.
Right,
Nolazine.
right, Nolazine TV.
Okay. So what's your advice to a younger actress that's trying to get in the industry?
My advice would be just to keep knocking on that door and eventually it will open. And I feel like that applies not only to acting, but anything you want to accomplish. You need to keep knocking. You need to stay resilient, stay persistent. Because eventually, I mean, I don't know how you are with law of attraction and everything, but I believe in it. And the more you work towards something and you're focused on something, it'll happen for you. So that's my advice. Like, just don't quit and All those auditions where you're not hearing anything back, let it roll off your shoulder. Like, do the audition. I tell all my clients that because I actually do career counseling where I teach young people how to become actors. Okay. And I always say, like, you gotta forget about it. Do the audition, submit it, forget about it. Yes, you spent 4 days studying a role and trying to become this person and immersed in this world for this audition. But as soon as you hit submit, let it go. Otherwise, it will drive you nuts. And you'll start thinking what I did wrong and, you know, what do they really want? And why was I not good enough? So you just gotta, you know, work on your mental as if it's a muscle. And stay strong, stay positive, stay resilient.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I have a good question for you.
Ooh.
What do you enjoy most about the industry? And what do you hate most about the industry?
That's a good question. Let's see, what do I enjoy most? I love the sense of purpose I get from it. You know, we should all have a purpose outside of what we do, but acting just gives me a sense of validation that I don't find in a lot of places. And it gives me the opportunity to just create and be free. So, yes, I'm Trina Lafargue, but is she present during any of the scenes? No, I'm not thinking my thoughts. I'm not thinking what I should be doing. I'm only thinking about the character's thoughts. And in a way, it's so freeing because it's brand new. It's this new world that you weren't in a few minutes ago. And now I get to, even for auditions, I'm just imagining where I am, but I'm just in my living room taping an audition. So it's like a freeing feeling. And even if you're saving the world in an audition in a stressful scene, it's still not your typical scene. It's still not your own thoughts that you deal with on a daily basis. So love that it's freeing. And yeah, I do feel a lot of purpose and validation in doing it. So I feel like I'm really aligned with where I should be and what I should be doing. And what I hate about the industry, I hate how shallow it is, and I hate that no matter how hard you work, how good you look for a role, how perfect you did on an audition, you may not hear back because that person's friend's daughter got the hookup. Or this is my niece and I want her to come in. But you just auditioned hundreds of people who worked hard, took off of work, did whatever they can to get this audition into you perfectly. And it didn't matter because, you know, you guys pulled strings for someone else. That's frustrating. And yes, it's a who you know business, but as far as casting, I feel like it should be strictly done on a talent and how much a person fits the role. Not who you know. Not for that. That drives me.
I think every industry is like politics.
Yeah.
It's always who you know.
But some of the people that they know aren't even okay, dare I say good. They aren't, some of them aren't even experienced. And they have to coach them even more. So it's like, you could just hire me. I've been doing this for a while. I could kill it. I promise. But I get it. I mean, hey, it's the politics of the industry, so.
Okay.
Yeah. That part sucks.
So tell us what separates you from other actors.
What separates me?
Yes.
I think that, man, that's a tough question, but I honestly think it's just, I don't have any sense of competition with other actors, especially in New Orleans. We're already
not competition, like, you know, why choose you for that big role, like, you know, and what separates you, like what makes you unique?
I think that also makes me unique though, because the sense of going into a room and not feeling like I have competition when I'm in a waiting room looking at other actors, it's like it's a reminder that no one has what I have. No one has my essence, my experiences, my spirit, and there's nothing that is not meant for me that I'll get. I know whatever's meant for me, I'm gonna book. So because there's no sense of competition, I'm even stronger in my own essence and more confident in myself. And it's easy for me to be me. So many times we go into an audition and we're like, we're this version of what we think you want, right? When I'm just like, hey, yeah, it's been a long day. I'm so tired, but no, let's do this. I'm ready to work. Nice to meet you. Thank you for your time. I think I just try to be as organic and genuine as possible. And I feel like that helps me a lot with booking roles. I really do. Because they care about who you are outside of the role too. You know, how easy would you be to work with or talk to? So I think that might be it. That might be it.
Okay. So So, like, where do you see your career going? I'm like 3 years from now.
Taking off. I think it's taking off. It's weird. I was talking to JT about this earlier. It's like,
Shout out JT.
shout out JT, the publicist. I was just talking about how for so long I've been doing this. Yes, 11, 12 years in the industry. But I just feel like I'm getting to where people kind of recognize my name. You know, oh, Trina, I think I heard of Trina Lafargue. And I feel like within the next few months even, it'll get to the point where my name holds weight.
It would sound like a t-shirt.
What? What's the saying?
Trina Lafargue.
Trina Lafargue. I was telling her, what did I say my quote was gonna be? Slap on a smile, like get it done. You know, you just gotta show up sometimes and have that confidence in yourself.
Show up and show out.
That's right. Otherwise, you miss an opportunity.
Okay. So, you know, earlier you was telling me that you have like a social media expert, you know, on your team now.
Oh, yes. Lester Rockwell, he's the bomb. Shout out Les. He's been helping me with managing my social media. It's been very overwhelming doing auditions, interviews, you know, working on films, and then, oh yeah, I forgot to post.
You gotta stay relevant.
Right. And then that's what he was saying. You gotta keep posting, you gotta stay on people's minds. And I'm like, I understand that, but it's really hard for me to do that and keep up with stuff. So like I said, the industry is really shallow. They care about how many followers you have on Instagram. They go look at that stuff. So he's like, this is important.
And because you have to promote, if you have to promote that movie too.
And yourself, you're a business. I am my own business.
You are a walking brand.
I have to promote Trina Lafargue as if I'm not Trina Lafargue.
Look, Trina Lafargue.
So he's helping me get that together because I was like, it's hard to keep up.
It's gonna be the Trina Lafargue.
The.
You know, you have to put that D before.
Yes, and hopefully Tips with Tree takes off with my career counseling and helping people just lending out a hand so that you know what to do, so that your resume and headshot aren't amateur. You know, you're presenting yourself with materials that are professional and exactly what casting directors are looking for. And I'm helping people learn how to get agents, how to be your own agent until you get one. Some really good key knowledge I'm putting out there. So if you're looking to get into acting or you know someone who is, holla at me.
Holla at her. And she still plays child.
Still play kids, but I am a grown-ass woman. Don't forget.
Right, so tell us, what's next for you?
I just worked on a huge feature film. I can't tell you the name of it, but I did just work with someone who's
almost got the
known in the industry. I know, right? Almost. So the director, his name is Elton E. Williams. He was actually a major player of the cast on If Loving You Is Wrong. It's one of Tyler Perry's series that was out. I think they went for a good 6 years. He was leading role on there. So it was really cool to work with someone I've looked up to on television, who's worked with Tyler Perry and has a connection with Tyler Perry, because gosh, I can't wait to work with Tyler Perry. I know that's in the works. God is working
Coming
on
soon,
it.
man.
He's working on it for me, I'm telling you.
You gonna make it to Atlanta?
Yeah.
You gonna jump off that exit?
Let me tell you something. We're gonna put it on the interview. I envisioned him calling me. I envisioned the whole conversation. And I was just like, to what do I owe the honor, Mr. Perry?
Gotta speak it to existence.
Yeah, and he was like, Elton E. Williams told me a lot about you. I've seen the film you just worked on. I think you're incredible. Come on, let's see what you got. I got a role for you. So I'm waiting for that moment. So I know this feature film I just did will help with that. And I know he'll see it. So I'm like, please. I have some other things in the works for the next few months, but I can't mention what they are just yet. So
you just gotta see. You gotta stay tuned.
Stay tuned, wait and see.
Okay, and last but not least, tell everybody where can they find you on your lovely social media.
Oh yes. Okay, it's still under construction, people, but work with me. You can find me at Trina Lafargue. That's at Trina. Lafargue is spelled Lafargue. My career counseling page is merged with my acting page, so just contact me on there. I have a link you can click on if you want to go through email and book me for that. Otherwise, yeah, just check me out.
All right, we done.
Thank you.
Nolazine, make them scream. Nolazine. Make them SCREAM. Scream. Nolazine, make them scream. You heard me.